Hello everyone, this is just a crash course in multi-row team building in the new Composites and Teams application. So to get started, before you load your images, make sure you're on the multi-row teams tab, and also make sure you have the canvas settings to what you want. So in this case, we're 20 inches by 16 at 300 pixels per inch. You can make it whatever you want, and you can set the team box, which are these settings here. You can adjust this to whatever you want as well. But just get that set before you build your team. And then once you are ready there, then you'll just load in your source images. And if you have the checkbox build team on folder selection, it'll already start, and you can see we're about halfway done. And right now it's detecting the edges of the players as well as the torso positions. There's two methods for alignment for centering. There's torso and face. Those will make no difference on scaling. It's just how it centers the players. And for the most part, for large teams like this, I recommend doing torso because it's faster and you're going to get pretty much the same look. The only time to really do face is if they're wearing tall hats or if they're holding like hockey sticks or lacrosse sticks, because the height of the sticks above their head, that can affect the sorting for how it decides who is taller to put in the center, if you have center tall, that is. So, but in any case, for most builds like this, torso is fine. So here's where it differs a lot from Easy Team Builder. With Easy Team Builder, when you get to this point, if you don't like the build, it's a lot more difficult to adjust. With the composites and team, it's pretty simple. If you adjust this team box, you see it's going to automatically adjust your players for the best fit. If you decide you don't like how many rows it picks, you can override that here. So if I wanted 5 rows, for example, if I click on the back arrow, you see now we're on 5 rows. It's going to adjust and it's going to fit those to the team box and move the players automatically. Now you see we're in row count test. What that means is if I make any more adjustments here, you can see it resets back to auto. If you decide you like a different row count and you want to keep it, you click this button, it'll set this to manual. So now whatever you do to the scaling, it's going to keep that build exactly with that number of rows. If you click it again, it goes back to auto, and it's going to redo its calculations for what it thinks is the best fit. All right, so next item is once you get your build looking like you want it to look, you can then go in and just adjust different settings. You can turn on your 3D perspective. And this is where you adjust where the back row gets smaller. And this is just going to simulate different camera focal lengths. Usually between like 50 and 70 millimeters is good. The default is up at 100. It goes up to 300 just so you can have a very subtle effect if you want. But generally 50 to 70 gives a good appearance. I don't know, maybe 75 here. So once you get that done, that decided on, you can also do like the vertical alignment, and this will adjust whether it aligns by their face or if it aligns by their feet. So if we align by the top here, now if you're in face detection mode, it will align by the center of the face. If we didn't do face detection, it's just going to align by the top of the head here. But that's up to you how you want to align. It's not going to rescale. It's just going to move them so it keeps the scale and just floats them. You can go in between as well. Player spacing. It's just adjusting the space more or less between the player. And then it also has to scale them because it's going to fit the design to your box as well. So 50 is the default, which is usually pretty good, shoulder to shoulder. Row spacing, this is how much, basically how tall the risers on they would be standing on, so how far each row is above the next row. And then of course it's going to automatically fit the team and scale them to the box when you adjust that row spacing as well. Then as far as moving images around, if you drag and drop, you can swap players. So if you drag one and drop it on the other, it'll swap the spots of those players. You can drag a player in between two slots where you see the two players light up. It'll drop in between. You can even move rows. And when you do that, it's going to then change the number per row. If you ever move around, you see it says we're in manual layout here. And what manual layout means is if you change your team box now, it's not automatically reassigning the players. Because once you start making some changes, it's going to lock those in, because otherwise this team box would decide automatically what position players go. If you want to exit manual mode, it's going to reset everything, and it's going to unlock the layer, but it's going to redo its math and reset everything. And so now it's back. Oh, it's in manual. It sets you back into manual row count. If you click once more, you're in auto, and then it will automatically reposition again. So what I recommend is getting your design to look about like what you wanted. Just sometimes a small adjustment will make it snap to one or the other. But then if you want to change, you can of course click that row count. But I think right up here is how I would build it if I was going to build it on a 4x5. And then if you wanted to adjust the players in the rows, you can drop them into different rows. And something like this. And then if you want to recenter a row, the rows will never be more than a half slot off, but it does align them between the players above. So if there's not the correct number to center, it'll be off by a half slot. If you right click any of these rows that are off by a half slot, you can right bias these rows or left bias the rows. You can even force that to be centered, and you only get those options for rows that are off center. But if we try to center this row, you see that the heads now are overlapping, which doesn't look very good. So usually you want to go in between left or right, so you're in between the players. Anyway, then once you are happy with the design, oh, one more thing before I export into Photoshop. If you want to change the scaling on a player or the rotation, if you think something was scaled wrong, if you hit enter adjust mode here, and if you see this button where it says exit adjust mode, that means you know you're in the adjustment mode. So instead of dragging and dropping, you can see that this no longer allows me to drag and drop. When we're in adjust mode, what that allows you to do is manually scale a player or move them within the slot. So you can scale either by the top or bottom handles. If you hit Alt and scale, it scales from the middle. The corner handles will rotate, and then you can just click and drag to move. And then if you click another image, any image that's highlighted red there, that's one that's been moved. So you can see if you start tweaking images, you can see which ones that you have adjusted. Now, if you hit exit adjust mode, those are no longer lit up. Now, if any players are adjusted, let's make one really obvious here. If you've adjusted any players and then you drag and drop those into a new slot, they keep their positioning and rotation and scaling within that slot. So that carries over to the new slot. If you ever want to cancel any of those adjustments, if you are in your adjust mode, you can right click on an image and reset player adjustment. And then I'll reset that player. Took a bit to refresh there. I think my screen recording is causing the refresh to be slow, but nonetheless, it will reset each player. And if you want to reset all of them, if you right click and you hit reset all player adjustments, anything that's adjusted will be reset. As soon as you're happy with the layout and you want to exit in, or you want to take this into Photoshop, if you hit save as PSD, it can be with or without smart objects. I'll save without smart objects. Oh, before I do this, I'm going to click this open in Photoshop after saving, because then after it saves, it will open directly into Photoshop. We'll just call this football team 4 here. It's going to take a little bit here to export it because it's got to rebuild this at full size, going back to the original players to encode the PSD. Now you see we're in Photoshop. We've got our rows with each individual layer in the row. And so you can then further adjust in Photoshop as you see fit.